Welcome back. I'm glad to see that you've decided to continue on with us. I'm going to do a number of things here in this more advanced training. The first thing I wanted to focus on is the spreadsheet. I've made a couple of changes and I think I've made life a bit simpler for you. The first thing I did was to add company name. I had overlooked that, thinking that the website would usually cover the company name, but it is better to have both. Better than that, I've changed the address fields. Very often, as I'll show you in a minute, you can get a lot of the address at one time, and very often city, state, and zip are on one line. So why not limit the copy and paste options or operations and do it all at once? Let me give you an example. Here's a web page I found in my surfing around looking at ideas. And as is common with many contact pages, they have a summary of all of their contact information. So what I'm going to do is simply copy the whole thing. And now what I'll do is simply select any cell that doesn't have other information around it. Control V, and there is all of that information. Now we select each cell individually, and we can move it very, very simply. There's the company name. See that little finger's got to be on the top line. Here we have city, state, and zip all together. Come on, little finger. Now let's move down a little bit here. Take the phone number. It's perfectly all right if the word phone stays in there. That is not a problem. The same with email. Now I'm going to have to move this over here just so you can see a little better. Go down to email. Moved it twice. Now I also note that I have here the toll-free number. Fax we don't need. We'll just clear that right out. And again, the words toll-free, I don't mind if they stay there. That is not a problem. And we're done. That can go, now all we need is the web address. I won't bother doing that. You know how to do it. I just wanted to show you that you can get a lot of the information very quickly, save down on a lot of that annoying cutting and pasting that I was doing before. I had to do each one individually. Alrighty, that's step one. Let's go over, we're missing only the website address and the contact name for this client. You can see I've moved the screen down so you can see the web address here. There's a couple of details about the web address that I want to go into. I said on my first video that I wanted you to get from the .com over. I've changed that for two reasons. Now what I want you to do is get everything. Usually you only have to click once and it all turns blue. Hit copy and there you go. So one, it's simpler. You can just click once when you're not in there and it all turns blue. It's selected and you can copy. The second reason is that occasionally there is information out here that I will need. And so rather than have you trying to discern when I would need that information or not, or having to find the right place to click, it's going to be simpler just to take the whole thing. The next issue we need to deal with is getting the contact person. This site is a perfect example of the majority of sites that you will encounter, and that they do not provide the name of a contact person. It would be far better for me and for you to have that. Why? Well, think about your own life for a moment. Don't you pay more attention to personally handwritten, addressed information, envelopes? If it has your name and somebody took the time to write out your name, there's a high probability that you're going to open that, whether that's at work or it's at home. So once we cross that barrier, we get them to open it, then the chances of them calling me and me making a sale also go up. So the more you invest in finding that person, the right name, the better our results will be. Now, going back to our example of the doctor, Dr. Barlow, It'd be perfectly, even though he probably doesn't handle the AdWords campaign, I would still send it to the main person if I have their name so that they can look at it and pass it on to the right person. They may look at this and say, you know, darn, we have been spending an awful lot on AdWords. Maybe this could help, and he'll pass it on to the right person. So you don't necessarily need to have the AdWords manager's name per se. It'd be nice if we had it, but I'd be very satisfied with the head honcho of the operation, as it were. So, what are your options? Your options are to call. Don't send them an email. That would be an unsolicited email, and that would not be a good thing to do. It's perfectly fine to call and simply say, hi, my name is David Wiley, and I'm with AdWords Management Solutions. We're just sending out a letter here, and all we need is the name of the person who handles your AdWords marketing campaign. And stop. They will either ask why or say, no, we don't give out that information, or they'll give you the name. If they ask for more information from you, you can give it. And it's they either do or they don't. But at least we try. If you don't get it, then we'll go over here, and in the contact name, what I'll have you put in is Marketing AdWords Manager. That's it. So give it a shot if you're willing to. I'm not going to insist that people make those calls. I'm not trying to get you into sales. I'm not trying to do any of that kind of stuff. I don't want you to get into a big explanation of the company. Simply present your request, and they'll either do it or they won't. If you get it, much better for us, much better for me, much better for you. Let's get into the whole idea of how best to identify local advertisers. There are many different types of advertisers. It's really not correct of me to say local versus national or international. That's too simplified. You're going to run into a lot of different types of ads out there, and I'm going to try and show you what some of them are. Currently, I'm working on the term real estate in the Los Angeles area. Could be any topic, could be anywhere. Let's look at some of these ads and what they tell us. Here's a good example of what I call a referral site. California Real Estate. What these folks are, or referral site is they're kind of like a middleman. They want you to go to them to find what you need, and then they will refer you on. They get a little commission out of that. That's how they make their living. Perfectly legitimate thing to do, but it doesn't help us. We really are not going to be working with referral sites. So anytime you see a site that kind of is trying to get you in to help you find what you want to find, you can think of them. Sometimes you can just, I just look at this, move.com, and you just know that's not local. You know that they want to, they're going to do direct sales themselves, or they're going to refer you on. They're not actually a local group. Free foreclosure report. Well, obviously that's a specialty within the larger field, but we know that these folks are not local because of this /Cali. What they've done here is this is their main site, and then they're going to refer you on to the California referrals, which means that they also have Oregon, Washington, all the states listed out. So that when you click, because you were searching on California in an area of California, they're going to send you to the California foreclosures. Again, this is a larger operation, and they are not really, even though they have California, that's just one of their options. Now here, this looks like a very good local ad, doesn't it? It's her name, Nicole Burns, real estate agent, and I'm sure, and interestingly, it's not tied to any major, it's not Century 21, it's not any of those kind of things. Let's just quickly take a look at Nicole here. So here's Nicole's page. She is tied to Coldwell Banker, but this is her own personal domain. She's doing her own advertising, so she is an excellent prospect. Excellent.